Welcome to another episode of Coffee with the Kays, Season 5, Episode 3. Here we are.
We're the Kays. We're the coffee.
Very
Here
good.
we go. Very good. How's the coffee?
It's good. It's good coffee. So this is chocolate caramel crunch from Brew South,
which is a distributor. The coffee is actually from Carpe Diem Coffee Company in Mobile, Alabama.
Oh, Carpe Diem is the company?
Is the company.
Oh, okay.
Seize the day.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
and
it.
it does. It says
Seize the day.
We had the package. I don't know where the package is. You put the beans in the thing, and
I think I threw the package
out. But they, it's really good coffee, and it's in Mobile, so they guarantee to roast it fresh, send it to you fresh, and it is fresh.
Yes.
It is. And
Very
we got the Guatemalan that you have. I think it's a Guatemalan Antigua, which is what Dad had earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Which is from Carpe Diem also.
No, it's one of those things where we have to always have a bag of Guatemalan on hand. It's just a staple
we do.
of
Didn't
the pantry.
you hear? It's the best coffee in the world.
That's what I've heard, yes.
Yeah. So then, and I also got pods of Guatemalan Antigua from Angelinos. I think it's Angelinos.
Is it Angelinos?
Yes, and they guarantee freshness also. They guarantee that they're going to put it in the pod when you order it. So it's
Does
not...
it taste fresh when you have it?
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
That's a glowing review.
It could be ground and sitting there for a month, but they'll put it in the pod when
Fresh.
you call.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good.
Well, that's a good point. I mean,
Yeah.
because that's the thing.
You seem to like it. You said it was good.
Yeah, I didn't do a quality control test on
Well,
it.
see, what you got to do is you got to take the Gavalia. Isn't that what it is?
Yes.
Gavalia, Guatemalan, and then you got to take the Angelinos Guatemalan.
And do a
I think
comparison.
the Angelinos was better.
I think you said it was better.
Yeah.
And it is good, and I've been like sparingly, but we like Angelinos. It's good.
Well, this is the problem with Keurig, and it's Keurig and Nespresso. It's the same issue, is that you don't know how long
It's been sitting.
It's been sitting. Now the thing about it is, once it goes in the pod, for both Nespresso and Keurig, it's sealed. So however fresh it is, it'll stay that way,
Right.
because it's completely sealed, inside the pod. But
so it doesn't go bad in the
so
pods?
it won't necessarily go bad
Okay.
in the pod. So I don't know. It depends on who you ask. But that's the thing. It is completely sealed. So
Well, this is good, though. This is very good coffee.
But
Don't
that
you
is it tastes good. It
Yeah.
tastes good. This was not from a Keurig. This was
This was a French press this time, right? You did instead of a pour over.
Yes, I did a French press, and
Yes.
I think I need a new French press.
Oh,
Because it was just, I need a new grinder too.
yeah.
It's the grinder. I'm getting lots of powder. Like it's grinding it, but it's grinding it too fine, even though I have it not set to grind that fine.
Maybe you're grinding it too long.
No, it's saying it funnels in. You put it in the top and it funnels through the bottom. So it's not like the other grinders where it sits inside and it grinds. It goes through. It's a burr grinder.
Okay.
But the burr grinder is the actual grinder. The burrs are made out of plastic, which I didn't realize until recently when I went to clean it out. Well, and that's the thing is I'm wondering.
Don't they break? Or they're
That's
not
what I'm
sharp,
wondering is that is it getting
microplastic in your coffee?
It's microplastics in us right now.
Regardless.
Makes the flavor.
That's
Yes,
it. It's
there you
part
go.
of the it's
Yeah,
plastic
no,
in
this
that
was
cup
good.
there.
Last week we had it with cream, and it really brings out the
Yes, I know,
dessert
and they're
flavor.
giving me a hard time over not having cream today. So
It's okay. It's okay. We needed to have it black. I've been limiting my cream this
Who
week.
comes to coffee with the K's?
Yeah.
Without bringing some
It's
cream?
no
I know.
cream. I know.
No cream, but this is yummy, and I recommend that. Definitely recommend that Carpe Diem.
Carpe Diem.
Coffee, all the coffee we've gotten
Carpe
from them
Diem. It's a
has
good
been
name.
good.
I
And
like
Brew
that.
South
Yeah.
has those, and they have all of the what are the Blue Angel coffee? What is it? DeLuna.
DeLuna.
They have all the DeLuna coffee.
Oh, that's from Brew South. They
distribute that
Okay.
too. And they have, there's something else, some Mac Daddy or something like that.
Mac Daddy.
I don't know if that's,
That's what it's called, huh?
I don't know.
All
It's
right.
another- yes, okay.
That's funny.
Yes, but our favorite cold brew, of course, is from Summer's Place.
Oh, yeah.
Alla Prima.
Alla
Yes.
Prima.
Alla Prima.
The best cold brew ever.
Well, and I talked to her about it. I mean, it was a pretty painstaking process for her to come up with how, the blend that she has, because she had to experiment essentially. And she experimented with the amount of time that it brews and, the different blends of coffee beans to kind of come up with this one that's just right. And it took a while, but
it's delicious.
18 hours, I believe she said. It's 18-hour brew. And
wow.
then, filters out. And, it's great. Really good.
It's great. It's worth the trip to Garden Street, Pensacola.
Yeah. Well, and the roastery, it's the same place. The coffee shop and the roastery is all in the same. So when they make it. I mean, it's been roasted, fresh. It's
and it's kind of fun. The one time we went to the drive-thru, they were roasting. So like all of the smoke from the roasting was coming out.
You see it coming out.
Not coming out the window at the drive-thru, but it was coming.
They
out.
open up the window. Let me take your order. I'm asthmatic.
But you could smell the beans and stuff.
They were roasting it. Yeah,
definitely.
They have a vent in there. Yeah, it was funny because she told me that it's best after it's roasted to let it sit for a little bit, sit for a week or so.
Oh.
Because if you take it right away, the flavor profiles won't be the same as after it sits for a little bit. So so that's when I got that bourbon barrel stuff that she made. That was it. She had just bagged it that day, and she
said, "Wait."
And she said, "Hey, you can take it home and have a cup, but then wait a week and you'll see there's a big difference." So I didn't. I just waited. I just was like,
it was good. That was good coffee. We enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's the coffee portion of our. We could probably talk more about coffee, but we can go on.
Yeah, I was going to lament over my French press, but
it's okay. You've already done that.
It's okay. Yes.
There we go. That's it. Oh, you're so silly. But we are the Kays, and we teach music. How about that? And we like talking about music, and we like talking about teaching music. And
it's good.
So So how's your week been with your students?
It's good.
Good week practicing.
Yeah. Well, for the most part.
Well, I'll tell you. No, I was very happy with several of my piano students this week because they really stepped it up. I think, after spring break, it's difficult because they get out of the routine. Anytime there's a break, adult students, kid students, it doesn't matter. They get out of the discipline routine of practicing when they normally practice every day, whatever.
Yeah.
And then spring break came, that happened, spring break mode, and then even the week after spring break, it was a little bit wonky.
Getting back into the swing of things.
And now things are rolling, and we have 3 weeks and it's summer. So we've got to get them charged up and ready for summer.
I put my kids at school on notice and said, I don't want to hear anything about summer. The end of school.
Yeah.
I said
every year.
That's it. I gave them a date. I say May 17th. May 17th you can talk about the last day of school and talk about summer and what you're doing, but you got until May 17th. I don't want to hear it. They're like, why May 17th? Well, by then testing is done, our programs are all done, it's we have May Day at our school, and all that stuff. But I was like, look, you use the words add and total, don't even say some because it's too close. I don't want to hear there's nothing about summer. Because we're still in work mode. And they took it to heart, but I don't know, I'm not having that issue. I think it was just more of a matter of, like you said, it was getting them out of what happened during spring break. And it seems like everybody kind of had that period of time where it was like the routine changed, and even people that were really sticking with it, even though there was a break and stuff like that. It was after spring break, they still kind of slump a little. What I'm actually dealing with right now is I didn't realize until this week I got a lot of college students
Yeah.
And I didn't quite realize.
Oh, they're doing finals?
They're all in finals.
Yes, there we go.
And that's kind of, so
yeah.
I've been kind of encouraging them to like chill out a little bit because they're getting worried that like, why I'm not able to practice because I'm studying for the finals and, you know, blah,
well, you
blah,
take
blah,
a
blah,
little study break, practice a little
and that's what I told them. I said, use it as a break.
Stress reliever.
It's good stress reliever. You can't,
good.
you know, you can only cram so much in your brain at one time. And, you know, so, you know, music is a great way, you know, to kind of take a break and get away from all of that analytical stuff, you know.
But I'll tell you, there's one thing that as a teacher, sometimes I struggle with, and so I'll ask you guys how you handle this. Sometimes you have a student that's on a song, and maybe they're on the song for several weeks, and it may be legit, it's a hard song, has some difficult skills to learn, and they're almost getting it, and this is the week, you know, and you just know they're going to make it, but then you're watching the time tick in the lesson, and you're realizing it's got to go another week, but it's so close. It's so close. So how do you handle those situations?
I don't feel bad about it putting it another week at all.
Oh, okay.
What?
It needs what it needs. When I hear my students perform, let's say, a song, I want to hear it as near perfect as possible.
Yeah.
And then you say, do it again. Oh my gosh, you kill me.
Because it's the fluke factor. Because if you did it once, okay, woo, you know, you could have lucked out. You know?
Right.
If you do it twice and you can do that, then okay, you got it. You know?
Yeah.
But that's why I do that, you know. But I don't feel guilty about having them do it again. It needs more attention, you know.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be in that position if they really gave it what it needed to get there, you know.
Well, yeah, sometimes.
Well, yes and no, because sometimes I know I have students that they really, like, they know that they've had this song too long and they really want to pass it, then they start to get nervous. And then that kind of throws them. But I will say, if they do put in the amount of repetitions it takes to get the skill that they're trying to learn from that song, because it's all about gaining those skills, right?
Right.
When they put the time in to gain the skills and they've actually gained the skills, then they're really not nervous to play in front of you. They're ready because they are ready. They are ready.
That situation you described is when they didn't do enough work.
I guess so.
It's like, I want to do enough work to just pass the song off, but I really didn't give it all that it needs to be able to do that.
Right.
So that's probably why you don't feel bad about one more week. Let's work on this.
Sometimes for me, it's like if I again, it depends on the situation. If I have a student that is, I can see they're really trying hard, and you know, they're for all intents and purposes, it's almost there. They either play it and it's like one or two mistakes. You know, if they can get through the whole thing, and I know that like the next thing we're about to cover is going to go over the same stuff that they just did, then sometimes I'll be like, okay, so the next thing we're going to do is just going to add to what we've already done. So it wasn't 100% perfect, but we're going to have a chance to clean it up on this next thing. You know, then I'll move them along. I also think it depends on the motivation, because I know some students that get stuck and like then they're not practicing, you know, and they want to get past the song, but then they're not practicing because they hate the song.
Well, here's the thing, because if you bail on a song, you know, you could get it if you put a little bit more work in, but you just don't want to do it. You're tired of it,
right? And
you bail on it. That just, you know, I'm looking at down the road, we've got more difficult stuff. How are you going to treat that?
Yeah.
You know, you're going to do the easy stuff, bam, you hit something a little more challenging. Well, I'm going to walk my way through this too, you know. That's why I don't allow that.
Yeah.
There was a time I had a student and his mother and sister were in there, and he did the song. It wasn't perfect, but it was okay. So I said, all right, well, you know, that wasn't perfect, but, you know, I'm going to go ahead and pass you. And she says, what? You're passing him?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't right. He should do it again. I was like,
That's
okay,
funny.
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, because
he's back there going, Mom, shut up.
Well, I do.
What are you doing?
I'll have, you know, some of my, the parents will come into the lesson, mostly, not just online, but even in person, and be like, oh God, I hope they pass this song. I'm so sick of hearing this song. And I'm like, All right. Well, that's you might need to hear it another week.
Well, and it is. I had a student say to me just the other day. They were like, "Well, I'm sure you're sick of hearing this song," and I was like, "Okay, look,
I teach this all the time."
That's what I said.
It's like the 500th time.
That was it. I said,
this week.
There you
go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
there's this episode of How I Met Your Mother where they're driving an old car, and it's like the car you grew up driving, and there's a tape that got stuck in the tape player. So it just plays the same song over and over again. And they're going on this road trip, and they're listening to this song, and they're like, does it play any others? And he's like, no, the tape is stuck. It just plays the same one. So they're going, and they start singing with it, and I would walk 500 miles. And then like later on in the road trip, like, I hate this song. I hate this song. And then the guy driving says, don't worry, it'll come back around again. What do you mean? And then it shows like 2 hours later, I would walk 500 miles.
They start to like it.
That is exactly what happens,
No, it really does.
I sit there and play Effigy in that guitar book, and I'm just like, I hate this song. And then like two days later, I got the student. I'm like, yeah, it's a cool song. Let's jam.
That's it. No, and usually that happens with students too. They do. There's that love-hate relationship with some of these songs, and I've really been trying to emphasize that it isn't about did I pass the song. It's did you gain the skill that you're supposed to learn in that song. And I always try to point that out at the beginning, and it's not any different with voice. Like all of the guys that are with me, I have a lot of male students, and the common thing is in and out of falsetto. It's tricky. It's tricky, and it's neat. Yeah. Just like that. There you go. Yeah. All right. Good job, Josh.
So you solved the problem.
There you go. But it's important. It's an important skill because that's the common thing. They come to me and they're like, I can sing this song, and then it goes up, and then they just jump down an octave and stuff, and it sounds terrible. So it's learning how to sing good, strong, good control, full voice, how to sing falsetto, and then how to bridge it. So there's several songs that they're all tend to work on throughout their lesson career because it works on in and out
There's
of falsetto.
There's a specific skill they're trying to get.
Skill. Yep.
So an interesting thing about just a little side about the falsetto thing. Okay.
Yes.
Do you think that the falsetto is because they don't want to sound like a girl,
Well, I think sometimes some guys, younger guys, well, it doesn't matter. I was going to say younger, but no. The first time that they sing in falsetto, they giggle. I mean, they all giggle.
It sounds really weird when you do it for the first time.
Well, and it feels
and you go like,
weird.
Is this singing? Really?
Yeah.
And it sounds like I'm a kid messing around.
Right.
That's usually
Sucked
the
on
thing.
Some helium.
It's not usually that it sounds funny, but it feels weird, and it almost feels like you're not singing because it's generally when you first find falsetto, it's real easy. Like it's real light and real
I've never experienced that.
Woo! Yeah, it's very light.
Some of these like Motown singers, they get in a falsetto and it's just beautiful.
It is totally beautiful.
It's amazingly beautiful.
Right.
That's not been my experience.
But it can be, and that's the thing. And I'll explain it that it's your Michael Jackson voice. It's your voice.
I wonder sometimes because you sing that way when you're a boy.
Yeah.
Because that's all you got.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, as you get older, when your voice finally does change, like I was talking to some kids about this last week. And for me, like my voice changed, and all of a sudden, I went from being able to sing all this Motown stuff. Like I would sing the Temptations. That was like every single day. Oh yeah,
all the time.
I would play the Temptations CD and sing with it.
We got a CD recording
of you singing.
Yeah, singing "Ain't Too Proud to Beg," right? Because I would do that. That was almost every single day.
Yeah.
I was singing. It was that and the Commodores. It was like those two. I was going back and forth, right? And then when puberty hit and my voice changed, I was like, I don't know what to do with this. And then I just kind of stopped singing altogether.
Unfortunately, that happens to a lot of boys. They do stop singing. But then once you settle in to your new voice, you realize that the Temptations were not children.
Right.
No.
And, the Commodores were not children. These were grown men that were singing in falsetto, and we love it. We love how it sounds. It just feels funny when it's coming out of you. That's all.
Sometimes when I hear falsetto, it's a beautiful sound. Sometimes when I hear it, it's like piercing.
Well, yeah, and that's really it's like sopranos in general, too. There's times you hear women sing high and you love it and it's a warm, beautiful tone, and other times where it's real shrill and you don't like it. And there's popular singers that sound both ways. People have
the one that I think of, like, just right now off the top of my head is Sweet Child of Mine. Okay? Because when Axl Rose sings that, because you can sing it with the light falsetto. Oh, sweet child of mine. He's not doing that, right?
No.
When he does, whoa, sweet child of mine.
Yeah.
Putting more force behind it. Now, that fits the style, right?
Yeah.
That he's singing, and I wonder if that has a lot to do with it as well, like changing the tone of your falsetto
to fit the style
based
of the
on
song.
what you're actually singing.
Well, and that's just your voice in general. It's learning how to control it so you can do that.
I was listening to an Instagram post from Boukou Blues from the Crawfish Festival.
Boukou Groove.
Boukou Groove, yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's pretty good at falsetto. He got
I heard
the Neville Brothers.
You said that
down
it was
pat,
funny
man.
because I heard you playing it, and then I said, like, who is that? And because I was thinking the same thing, I was like, that sounds like the Neville Brothers, and that was like, no, that's Boukou Groove. You guys got to check them out. They're really good local bands.
Local, regional, kind of local,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But his falsetto was that just high, sweet sounding, and it really, but also then consider what they were playing. They weren't playing rock music. They were playing like, funk, R&B, kind of stuff. So, it fit the style,
Man, to a T.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Well, it's a great, wonderful part of the male voice that I think too many guys just give up on it instead of embrace it and learn how to sing it and learn how to cover, go in and out. I like to show them that they have about 8 notes that they can sing full voice, and they can also sing falsetto. So you have this area of your range where you can go either way, and that's where you want to cover from one into the other. So
that's good.
Yeah, it's great. It's good, but it really does become kind of a theme of the lessons.
Well, it was pretty funny because for me, when it came to developing my falsetto, it was teaching elementary kids. And you have to sing, and I would sing in my lower register, and then they'd try to copy me.
Yeah.
These little 6-year-olds trying to go low, and I was like, oh no, like that. And I remember going to Greg, a music teacher in the district, because I was asking you, and she was like, I don't know, go ask Greg, see what he says. And Greg was like, yeah, you have to sing falsetto. Like he was like, it was really.
Well, you asked like 3 different male teachers, and they all said
I asked
the same
Tom
thing.
and Greg and the guy who did our shirts.
Gordon.
Yeah. And all 3 of them said the same thing. They were like, yeah, you have to sing in falsetto. Like there was no getting around it.
So now,
you either play it on the piano, play an example, or sing in falsetto. And so that was it. So it was like, okay, I have to do this no matter how ridiculous. And of course, the very first time I sat in front of a group of elementary kids and sang in falsetto, what did they all do?
They laughed.
They busted up laughing. It was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
Mr. K singing with the high voice, and then the next thing, you sound like a girl.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. So,
Well, and every year I have to go through that when I'm doing singing with whatever group does sing. Every group at grade level does singing at some time where we really focus on singing and what singing is and how to sing, because we're putting a program together, right? And there's always that one kid that will shout out, he sounds like a girl. And I'll say, no, he sounds like a boy. That's how good. Boys are supposed to sound.
Because then what I have done is I'll go further by, because I have to deal with this every year. Yeah. Most of the kids, they're used to, if they've known me, they get used to the sound of my voice and stuff. But then I get new ones that come in, and then I got to do this. So Jason Derulo, okay? If you see Jason Derulo, all right, this is not a girly man, right? And a lot of times the kids already know who he is, right? And there's a video of him singing with pentatonics.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he actually practices opera music and stuff, arias and whatnot. Yeah. But he's a singer, R&B, hip hop, singer, right? And he does this song with them, and it's not an original. I can't remember who did it first, but he gets to the middle in the bridge, and he starts out, they're backing him up, and he just holds this note, and he goes, "My friend," like that, and he just holds it, and then he goes an octave higher.
Yeah.
And it's
blows your mind.
Yeah, and no matter what age, no matter who it is, the adults, the kids, because they're not expecting it, right?
Right.
You hear him singing all leading up to it, and he's kind of going in and out of falsetto, and you're like, oh yeah, this is good. And then when he hits that, and then he goes, and he hits that high note, and you're just
Josh.
like, no. I don't know, spike the microphone. I have to adjust that in video editing. I know. But that's it. He hits that note, and everybody goes, it's that Joe Rogan meme at the MMA where they're all like, that's what everybody's doing, when they hear that. And I sit there and be like, okay, so is anybody gonna tell Jason Derulo he sounds like a girl?
Right.
No, he sounds like a guy. He's just singing high, So
well, I tell the boys, okay, so how many of you have a job? How many of you pay taxes? And I go through adult things. Drive a car? Okay, you're children.
Yeah.
You are supposed to sound like children. You're not supposed to sound like grown-ups.
That's it.
That's my method.
So then when they become adults and then they come here, then we have to tell them, you guys sound like children. No, I'm just kidding. No. But that's, now you get used to, you speak in the lower voice, right? And so that's, and then your voice normally sits there when you sing. And I think that's part of the problem too, because that's like the muscle memory, is your voice being in that lower range. And then to have to flip into that one feels weird,
Well, if you can embrace the concept, which is a true concept, I guess it's just a true thing, that singing and speech are not the same. That it's not the same part of your brain that works singing, that works speech. It's different. So that's why people that have a stroke and lose the ability to talk can sometimes regain that ability through singing.
Or people that stutter.
People that stutter can sing, and they don't stutter when they sing.
Yeah.
And they can utilize that part of their brain to begin to cross into the speech to get new, what are those, dendrites to form or whatever those are called.
We're getting scientific on
there we go.
The case.
We do. I know.
A cup of coffee goes, all of a sudden a scientific language comes out.
But I tell students in the first lesson, singing is not talking.
Yeah.
We don't use our mouth the same. I normally do not talk like this all the time with my mouth open.
Yeah.
And my jaw moving. I mean, normally.
Yeah.
But I'm a school teacher and we do wacky things. But it's when you sing, you're going to use your mouth differently. You're going to use your breathing differently. You're going to use, just the way you sing. So sometimes it's better to not sing near where your talking voice is, but to sing higher than your talking voice on purpose so that you can kind of practice that difference. So there we go.
Oh.
There you go. That's it.
It's good. Sounds like a good place to take a break, right?
I was looking at my coffee.
Yeah. I know. It's
what happens in the French. Well, I need a new French press. Is what I'm saying.
You do, because we're drinking grounds.
I know, but it's very fine grounds.
It's very, very
so,
fine.
That makes it so much.
It should
better.
make it better, right?
I don't really want to drink
Turkey,
that part.
That's how they drink their coffee. Okay, it's all in the same cup. They don't filter it out, so you're just getting the Turkish experience. That's all I'm trying to provide.
Right. Okay, there we go.
Right here on Coffee
That's
with
right.
Kaye.
culture with coffee with the K's. Yeah. Exactly.
There we go. And on that note, we'll take a break.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Ron Kaye's music instruction has been trusted by thousands in Pensacola to learn, play, and love music. Our strong passion for teaching music provides expert knowledge and guidance which helps you succeed and have fun with your music lessons. Whether it's a bucket list dream or a desire to enhance your child's life, our music lessons are the answer. Call 850-453-9966 now. Realize your musical dreams. Visit musiclessonspensacola.com today.
All right, and we're back.
We're back.
All right.
I gotta say, I heard Keven Stefanski quote Josh the other day.
Oh, he quoted Josh, you don't know what you don't know?
Yep.
Did you hear him say that? Yes.
Yes. Almost fell over.
Yes.
Wait, watches
that guy.
You better be careful. He watches the podcast.
He's watching the podcast. That's right. I heard it too. That's funny. Yeah, he was doing an interview, and it was like, he was talking about making mistakes, and how you don't know, you just don't know what you don't know. I was like, yeah, man.
There you go.
I say that all the time.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it is true. It's a true thing to say.
That's it.
It's just not very popular.
No, because we're kind of arrogant. We think we know everything. So
and you put expectations on yourself, like when you get in a position like, oh, I'm supposed to know.
I'm supposed to know this. Why?
Right.
Have you ever done it before? No.
Yeah. That's it. So that was funny. So the draft, we had the draft this last week, and it was pretty much a boring draft.
Yeah, snooze fest for Cleveland.
It was,
and
they didn't really make any. They didn't make any trades. They didn't do, and I heard a guy talking about it from Cleveland, one of the sports analysts, and he was like, "This is exactly what you want. You want a boring draft because that means that your team is already set, and not like these other teams that are rebuilding. You got a team like the Patriots, okay? What are the Patriots doing?
They're getting all new players.
And you really think they're all going to gel together and win the Super Bowl this year? It's not going to happen. So, they're all rebuilding, and so that was his point. It's like, at least the Browns, we know who's going to be playing. And
decades, you mean?
Yeah, well, that's, oh my gosh. Well, and see, that was the thing I thought about, because it was like, I remember talking to you, and you were upset with the fact that we didn't have many picks and stuff. And I was like, why is he so... And then it like dawned on me that like, because we've had like a massive amount of picks every year. Yep. And every year those picks were really important because
we needed a quarterback.
We needed a running back. We needed defensive ends and to actually start. Mm-hmm. But see, now we got starters. So... This is what they did.
That's a good way to say it really wasn't stupid of us to give all our draft picks to get Watson.
This glass is half full, my friend. Okay, so this is what
what's it full of? That's what I want
to know. There we go.
So so here the funny thing about it, I listened to the Plain Dealer's take on the draft, and Mary Kay was like, okay, so this is the last draft with the Deshaun Watson trade, because now we'll have all our picks next year. Like, we didn't trade anything away from next year's draft, So this was the last one where we traded away those picks, the Texans. Nobody wants to talk about what the Texans did, because that is upsetting how they're stacking.
They're stacking their team. I know
that's going to be the thing.
They've got C.J. Stroud now.
Yeah,
and he was amazing at the end of the season.
He was.
So they're really
Tank Dell was one of the picks. Was one of the draft picks that we traded to him, and he did awesome.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, and then you got Nico Collins. Stephon Diggs is now on that team. It's like they're really they're stacking it.
They're getting the engine.
Well, there are a lot of people. I shouldn't even say this. I know what I'm opening up.
Why?
Okay, there are a lot of people that are saying that DeMeco Ryans, who is the coach for the Texans, should have gotten a coach of the year. instead of Stefanski. That Stefanski won by a narrow margin. It was like 2 votes or something like that. And
Who votes even?
yeah, I don't remember. It's the
they didn't ask Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. But he did a really good job bringing that team around.
Yes, he did.
And so I think they have a promising
Future.
Year. Next year. So we'll see. But the guys that we took, so the round 2 was kind of the big pick right here. This is Mike Hall Jr. from Ohio State. He's 300 pounds, 6'2", 300 pounds defensive tackle.
That's a big boy.
Yeah.
Born in Garfield Heights.
Oh, yeah. What's his name?
Mike Hall Jr.
Mike Hall Jr.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
He's our new guy.
He's a new guy.
I'm going to root for him.
That's it.
There you
go.
go.
He is very excited to be a Cleveland Brown because he grew up rooting for the Cleveland Browns,
Wow.
So, and then, he played at Ohio State and,
Well, he's an Ohio boy through and through then.
Did he go to Garfield Heights High School?
No, because he moved. He moved when he was a teenager. So I can't remember where he moved, but he didn't move far away. It was, somewhere around there. So, yeah.
Cool.
So that was
that's exciting.
So that was my tidbit. I figured you'd like that. So.
Yeah, good one.
So
Ron is from Garfield Heights, so that's
there you go.
That's why we're saying that.
That's it. So it seems like he was a good pick in the second round. Because he did really good. In college, and then pick 2 was in round 3. Zach Zinter, he's a offensive guard from Michigan. 6'5", 309 pounds. Honorable mention, all Big Ten Conference.
Well, Michigan, they won this year, didn't they?
Did.
So
now he's coming off of an injury, which is why they think he fell as far down on the board as he did. And then here's the crazy part. He got his injury because of a hit that he took from Mike Hall Jr.
Oh, that's kind of weird. Oh, yeah. So I did see some things on Instagram about the two of them being from rival teams, but now they're coming together.
Yeah, but the thing is, they'll be practicing against each other.
Yeah.
And so there's been, but they both came out and said that
there's no bad blood.
We're brothers,
good,
and there's everything. All that stuff. But I know this.
Funny.
It's going to be good because it's going to be some competition there. Right off the bat. So those are kind of the two big ones. The rest of these guys, not really sure. Like this Jamari Thrash is a wide receiver from Louisville. He's 5'11", 188 pounds. Never heard of him.
He's a mosquito.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah, but he might be the great
till he gets hit.
Well, he reminds
by one of them 300-some pound guys.
He might be scrappy.
18 foot tall.
Scrappy. Yes, that's it. So, he was first team All Sun Belt Conference in 2022, second team All ACC in 2023. So I don't know. He's
probably really
good,
excited
but,
to be in the NFL.
So then the next one, Nathaniel Watson. He's a linebacker from Mississippi State, 6'2", 233 pounds. A lot of people I heard were really, really excited about this because they think that the Browns need more linebackers, and so he's a linebacker and finalist for the Butkus Award. For the nation's top linebacker.
Wow.
So he's good.
So he's good. Yeah, that was a round 6 guy. And then round 7, they got a cornerback, Miles Harden from South Dakota. He's 5'10", 195 pounds as a cornerback.
That's short.
Yeah. I mean, Martin Emerson's going to dwarf him.
Hope he can leap.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm not really sure about that one. And then you got their last pick, Jawan Briggs, defensive tackle from Cincinnati, 6'1", 313 pounds. So
all right.
So it seems to me like it was a lot of depth picks, the backup guys, because especially given how many injuries we had last season.
I was going to say that line was decimated.
That's it. And I like the prospect is Zach Zinter, guard, because they need good depth at the guard position.
So when they draft these guys, then they do all their practicing and stuff, and then some of them might get cut before they actually start. Right?
Yeah, typically speaking, if you're a draft pick, you're probably not going to get cut, but you'll make like the practice squad at least. They usually don't want to just give up on the guy, right off the bat. They're going to start now doing undrafted free agency signings, which those will be some of those guys that get cut. But it does happen. I mean, it does. Some guys don't make the team, and it's how it goes. But typically speaking, like from a GM perspective, like Andrew Berry's not going to want to cut a guy that he picked,
right?
Because then it's like he wasted the pick.
Right.
So you at least put him on the practice squad and say, he needs to develop, So we'll see.
Okay. Well, yeah.
So do they still have that kicker?
I was just gonna say, he's on the practice squad supposedly. So Dustin Hopkins is supposed to be back. He's our kicker, but then they got Cade York and they brought him back and put him on the practice squad.
So Dustin Hopkins,
So Cade York's the kicker for the Browns?
No, he's on the practice
squad.
Who's the kicker?
Hopkins. He's back.
The one that got hurt. He's back.
Oh yeah, he was good.
Yeah,
he was great.
Yeah,
and then he ran down and tackled that guy and broke his leg.
So he's supposed to be back, and the thinking was, and you got, who do you believe, right? Okay, but the thinking was that they always liked Cade York. They just threw him in too early. They drafted him and made him starter right away, and maybe he just needed time to develop.
Cracked under the pressure.
Yes,
it's a high pressure job.
That's what they're saying. Well, and as well as I do, we watched it happen. We watched him go from, he started out the season okay,
I know.
and then he just couldn't hit a single thing, couldn't even convert the extra points. Yeah, so it was just like, it was very clear that he had the yips, and then they had to get him out of there, That's what it is. It's just he had the yips. It's a thing.
It's an industry term.
It's an industry term. That's right.
There you go.
But so I think they're trying to give him another shot. They still like him. My thinking is, I think Andrew Berry has a little bit of an ego, and he doesn't like saying no to the guys that he picked. You know what I mean?
Cade York.
And he picked Cade York, and so he, when his back was against the wall, he was like, okay, fine, we're losing games because of this guy. I got to get somebody else in. But then he still didn't really want to give up on him. He wanted to give him a chance. So now he's got an opportunity to bring him back, put him on the practice squad, let him study under Hopkins, and then maybe he develops.
He was my kicker at the beginning of the season. On my fantasy team, but I got rid of him quickly.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
So,
the first 6 or so missed extra points.
I know.
Dead giveaway.
The first 6 or so.
Yeah.
Well, and I keep getting stuff now in my email about fantasy football.
Oh yeah,
already.
everybody's already talking about it. Oh yeah.
But
no, we're not gonna do anything.
It's not even
this
May.
early.
Okay. Yeah.
But they start talking. I mean, it's like a year-round thing, because they start talking about what's gonna happen. So much happened, like in Tennessee, for example. They got rid of Derrick Henry. Right.
Yeah.
So who's going to be the next guy? Well, there's Tajay Spears, and there's these other guys. So that's all the speculation.
I don't
now,
like the speculation.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. So what happened in our brackets for March Madness?
I want to talk about it.
I did.
Yeah. I don't think we talked about that on Coffee with
I don't
Kaye.
think we did. Yes. There you
won,
go.
and you won.
Is this the
several.
second year now?
No, that's the first year
It's
that
the
I
first year.
started cleaning up.
Oh, okay.
But also in football was the same thing.
Yeah,
so.
that's it.
You're the
Just
man.
the sports king in this family.
So.
I know.
So.
It's amazing. Yes, it was fun. I didn't win any of my brackets, but I did have UConn going all the way. So, didn't they win?
Yes.
Okay, I'm like, I already forget.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, that was it. I predicted a few upsets, but there were several that I just didn't see coming at all. And then there were some teams that I was like way too high on. Like I really was JMU. I was like,
I know.
After watching them play, I watched them play live, and it
were
was
a
like,
Duke.
yes, that's it. These guys are awesome. They're going all the way.
They folded.
They did.
Like a cheap suit,
well,
man.
they just. I think that it was inexperience, just all the way around, and This is part of what happens in the dance. Remember that one year they were called the Retrievers. I can't remember which school it was, but they were 16 seed and they ended up beating somebody big. And don't you remember? And it was And that was, everybody was, I know, it was this obscure school I'd never heard of before, and they had their golden retriever was their mascot.
All right.
Yeah, it was funny.
Awfully nice.
It was. And so they kind of, and that was the thing, and so they were like looking like they were going to be a Cinderella story, and they made it several rounds, and then, it just completely crumbled, and it was whoa, what happened? Yeah, they got the yips. That's what happened. Yes.
It's an industry toy.
It's an industry toy.
We got that for sure. Yes.
So that's where some of these guys, I think when it comes to the teams, you've got depth, on the bench. If it's a big enough school where they can keep cycling good players out. But then there's other, like I look at what happened with Purdue. I think the problem with Purdue is their first line of players was really good, Zach Edey and all that. And they just literally played Edey the entire game.
Yes.
And it's
he was exhausted.
That's it. I mean, you can't, it's hard to expect. So then when you sub out and you put guys in and they're not nearly as good, then you start going down points, then it's hard to dig yourself out of that. And I think that's what happens with some of these schools.
Well, it was definitely fun. And so now it's hockey season and Josh is
Go Rangers!
Forcing us to be Ranger fans.
Broadway blue shirts, baby.
Yeah. So we've watched a couple hockey games. It's fun. Yeah, we enjoy it. I mean,
I have to show you the picture of Stuttering, the goalie.
Yeah.
He's got a son, and he's like 1, or 2, maybe, he's little, okay? And they have this thing, every game, he goes up to him whenever he's there, he goes up to the glass, and they talk to each other.
Oh.
And his son will point to the goal.
Get your ass
That's
back.
That's it.
Well, you know what?
It's the funniest thing. So you got funny. That. Yeah. So you got that. These pictures of him right up, with all of his gear on right up there, and then there's his son looking at him like this, pointing to the goal.
Get to work.
That was it. That's
well,
it.
Every
it's
time
so good.
You say Stuttering, so I finally figured out what it was. It was making me think of something that I couldn't complete the thought.
Staring.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Every single time. So now we've had 2 movie references, but that's from Men in Black 3.
Yeah.
And so
Staring.
every single time, we're in sync.
Yep.
But that's exactly what I was thinking of it, because that's
funny.
the way you say it. It's like you go,
Just Stuttering.
like you're going to say Darren. It is.
That's
so,
funny.
and the other movie reference is from My Cousin Vinny. So
there you go.
It's an absolutely hysterical movie. You just have to realize they're going to say the F word a lot, but it's very funny.
Every couple minutes.
It is, you just have to. It's part of the culture.
It's part of the culture.
It is, and it's very, very funny. It's not,
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good one.
Very good one. Yep, that's it.
All right. So go Rangers.
Go Rangers. Okay, so
Yeah.
one little tidbit. This is my tidbit. I'm contributing to the sports part of our program.
Okay.
Did you know that the background singers for Huey Lewis and the News, Hip to Be Square, one of the background singers was Joe Montana.
What?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the other one was Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott.
I love Ronnie a lot. I was trying to remember his name.
I gave her that clue before.
Ron said,
I said, you love Ronnie.
Yeah, you love Ronnie
So
Lott.
I said-
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's Ronnie Lott. Oh
I didn't know I didn't know him, but Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know him? And he can sing.
That's awesome.
And he sang background for Huey Lewis.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Hit to be square.
I was excited. I like that. That's on my playlist.
Yeah.
And Minnie Riperton, who we talked about the last episode, or the
Yeah, it was the 70s one.
Yes, the
Yeah.
70s music. She was a 70s singer that sang really, really high. We talked about her.
Yeah.
She is the mother of Maya
Rudolph. Yeah.
who is an
Saturday Night.
actress
Yeah.
and comedian.
SNL.
Yeah, how about that? We didn't
That's
know
pretty
that.
cool.
That was
Yeah.
amazing.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yes.
So she
Okay.
runs in the family.
Yeah,
That's it.
there you go. Cool.
That is cool.
All right,
That is
very
cool.
good.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Cool. All right. Well, this has been another fine episode of Coffee with the Kays. I have to get into my
You
NPR
gonna say,
voice.
see you later?
See you later. Staring. Oh my gosh. Be sure to rate and like this video if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're listening to us on podcast form, be sure to rate us and like this show. Subscribe so that you can never miss an episode of Coffee with the Kays. The intro and outro music is by Ron Kaye off of his album K-Struction. Be sure to check that out. And if you are interested in music lessons from the best in Florida, there we go. You should go to musiclessonspensacola.com, and we are up again for 2024.
Yes. So you can go to Best in Florida and begin voting. You can vote every day from now until August
1st, I believe.
I don't know,
the cutoff date.
like
That's
that.
it. So if you believe we are the best in Florida, please give us your vote for Best in Florida 2024, and we'll have the links on
music
our website.
Studios and teachers.
Music studios and
category.
Instructors. Yes, that is the category that we are in the running for. So thank you very much, and you guys have a great day. We'll see you next time on another episode of Coffee with the Kays.